Hello, greetings, a warm welcome to you. And if it's your first visit to this channel, a real warm welcome. I hope you'll check out a lot of the videos that are presented here. This is a place where I'm talking this year about spiritual growth. So if that's a topic of interest to you, I hope you'll join with me often. Today I have some books to recommend. These are all books that I've read and found helpful on a spiritual journey. Various authors, various backgrounds, but all of them have a particular point of view that may be helpful to you. So let me get right into it. First, let me say all of these books are available at all of the major book sites, whether it's Amazon or Barnes & Noble or others. They're also available by independent booksellers, even if they have to order the book for you, if you prefer to support independent booksellers. And if you're unaware of it, I want to make you aware of a bookseller called Better World Books, where they sell used books. And all of these books that I'm going to show you today, which are in excellent condition, they're all in brand new condition, I purchased from Better World Books. So it's a way of helping others to receive free books, and the cost is much less than buying a book new. They are not sponsoring this video. I'm just giving them a plug because it's a good way for us to buy our books. So, the first one I want to mention is not about spiritual growth in particular, but the title is Take Your Time, How to Find Patience, Peace, and Meaning. Take your time. It's about slowing down and living intentionally, which, although they're not something that we say, oh, if you slow down, that's spiritual growth, it is going to be an aspect of your spiritual growth. You're going to find yourself slowing down. So this is a good book about this. It was written by a man named Easwaran. He is originally from India, but lived most of his life in America, teaching meditation and spirituality to Westerners. So some of the titles in the chapters are Take Your Time, Slowing Down, One Thing at a Time, Finding Balance, Time for Relationships, A Higher Image, and The Still Center. He also has a meditation and 8-point program that are explained in this book. His form of meditation, while some people find it very helpful, like all of these things, isn't for everyone. It involves a good deal of memorization. So if you're good at that, you'll probably be real interested in this. And if you're not, I certainly recommend the whole rest of the book. Now, the next book on my list is, I've mentioned it before, and it's by Richard Rohr, who is a spiritual teacher in the U.S. today. His Center for Contemplation is in New Mexico. He's a popular writer on spiritual things, and his books are easily accessed. This first book by him that I want to mention is called Falling Upward, A Spirituality for the Two Halves of Life. Two halves of life. So he explains well, what he's actually explaining is the development of what Thomas Merton and many others call the false self. St. Paul in the Bible calls it the old man. Jesus calls it old wineskins. How the egoic mind and the personality develop and how that's a good thing. Then the second half of life is when we discover the true self, the new man, the new wineskins that are actually the finding of ourselves in the image of God, our true self. And Richard Rohr is a Christian man, so he's going to use some references to Christian churches and things from the Bible. But what he is teaching in this book is true for everyone, regardless of their religion. It's about our development of our personality and the letting go of that personality. And he makes it clear that our life is not divided in half numerically. Some people never reach the second half of life, are stuck in the egoic life, and some reach and begin the second half at a very young age. So it's an interesting read. The next one is also by a Christian person. This is James Finley, and he is a former monk and a spiritual teacher in the United States, still teaching. And the book I'm recommending is Christian Meditation, Experiencing the Presence of God, A Guide to Contemplation. And so this tells you everything you want to know if you're a Christian about meditation, and if you're curious about Christian meditation and you're from another religion or no religion at all, and you want to know how Christians meditate and what they're thinking when they say Christian meditation. And he's got the in and outs. It's a how-to book, and it goes into the deeper expectations of a person meditating, spiritual experiences, a good source of information. And he has written other books as well, and sometimes he contributes to Richard Rohr's Center for Contemplation. And he is a former monk, and in his time in the monastery, his spiritual director was Thomas Merton, the very famous American mystical teacher. I have another book I'm recommended by Richard Rohr, and it is Immortal Diamond, The Search for Our True Self. Our true self. So in the first book, Falling Upward, that I mentioned, he talks about the false self and the true self. This is zeroing in on that. The first book is more general. This is about our search for the true self and our finding of it. And so I recommend this again because he's a Christian. He will be using lots of scriptures and references to the practices of the church. He's Roman Catholic, so especially that church. But not to give you a spoiler, but you're going to see that he's not all about the Christian church, and he points out a lot of the traps and flaws that Christian people have, and traps they fall into, perhaps things in the church that should have and been improved and maybe could be in the future. And he gives some great plugs for Buddhism and Hinduism. So it's an interesting read, and it helps you to understand what this immortal part of you is, what the true self is, and how you access, or perhaps you could say, fall into it. The last book I want to recommend today is a book by Eckhart Tolle. He is another spiritual teacher in the U.S. today, although he's originally from Germany and currently lives in Canada, I believe. He's a great favorite of the U.S. spiritual movement. He wrote a real famous book called Now that explains his take on spirituality, which you might tell from the title is all about being in the present moment, and it explains why this is important and how to live that way. But the book I'm recommending is Practicing the Power of Now, and it includes essential teachings, meditations, and exercises from the power of now. And so it's a breakdown for practical purposes for us to be able to take the teachings from now, I guess you could say in condensed form, and then he immediately gives you an exercise or a way to implement that in your life. So I really like this book, and I recommend it. And on the back cover, I'll give you a quote. "All you really need to do is accept this moment fully. You are then at ease in the here and now, and at ease with yourself." So I'll be doing some teaching coming up real soon from this book, Practicing the Power of Now, and I hope you'll join with me when I do that. So that's it for today. I certainly hope that if you're a reader, or if you're interested in spirituality and want a lot more information than I might give, these are all well-known and well-trained and well-respected teachers of spirituality, at least in the West today. And I hope that you'll explore some of these books, and let me know in the comment section if you have a book to recommend to me that you've found helpful and think I might like. Also, there are a lot more books that I'm going to recommend, and we'll come to them at different times in the future. Also, just as a side note, you can find Eckhart Tolle, Richard Rohr, and on websites and on YouTube. There's an Easwaran website, and I will put a link to that. And of course, Eckhart Tolle is on YouTube, and you can find him at a specific website as well. I'll try to put as much of that information as I can in the description box. I'm looking forward to your thoughts. If you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought of them and how you liked them. And I guess I really do need to end for today, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye for now.